What am I looking? Am I looking at something different?
In the top left of your corner screen, you'll notice that there's a dot that wasn't there before.
Oh, fun! You're recording now. Okay.
So, Allie, are we back with the podcast episode?
I think we're back with the podcast.
Yeah.
Is this the Matrix? Is anything real?
Nothing is real. The podcast is the only thing that is real, and I think that this our previous intro was not recording.
So we're just doing the here's what we're doing: a poor recap of the really great intro that we forgot to click record on.
Yeah. That's because we learned that the real world is truly the Matrix, and that the podcast is the only thing that is real.
Yes. So what if the Matrix actually didn't want us to have it recorded, and that's why it didn't record?
Oh, I thought it was like, what if the Matrix just didn't want us? Like,
oh, that's so dark.
No way.
It was like, we really genuinely don't want you for power.
Yeah,
like, you're the reject one.
We're good. We got enough.
And
we got Keanu Reeves, then we're okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
We don't need you.
Sit yourself down. You're okay.
That's where I thought you were going with it.
Well,
the Matrix.
That's where we went now.
Need us to record. Oh, okay.
Like, is any of this relevant to our podcast thing today? No, but did we need to talk about it? Yes. So
one could argue that yes, it needed to be talked about. But the real thing that we're here to talk about is we're gonna have our second edition of Pop Culture Timeline with
Pop Culture Timeline with our wonderful Aunt Carolyn. So we're super excited.
Great. Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. What else are we gonna do? I can't think.
We're going to rediscover all of Aunt Carolyn's long-lost pop culture pleasures in her life, and then bond over it, because last time around was so fun, and I laughed so much and had such a great time learning new things, and I'm super pumped to do it again with the matriarch of the Heredias, because the Heredia family, we hang out with all the time. So I'm super pumped to ask Aunt Carolyn more questions. I can't wait to see her answers. I bet there'll be some shockers that I'm like,
I bet there will be some shockers. I bet we're gonna laugh. We're gonna cry.
Oh.
We're gonna learn. We're gonna love. We're gonna live.
Man, live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love.
Let's throw it back to what, like
adjectives?
Like 2007 home decor.
Yeah. Good.
Maybe the Matrix is having a glitch.
Well, we'll have to ask Aunt Carolyn in the next segment.
Yep.
All right.
Let's clip this together. Intro done.
Nice.
Chocolate cake shake, definitely worth the calories.
Yes,
100%.
always. I've even made knockoff chocolate cake shakes. And
really?
They're still amazing. Yeah, like you have a leftover
totally
piece of chocolate cake. You just put it in
right.
with your ice cream, make a milkshake out of it.
Just make a milkshake.
It still looks dark. Hold on.
Like,
but
then the straw.
There, that's brighter.
Yeah. You got
Okay. I think I'm good. Yeah, but then I wasn't centered. So I'm centered-ish.
Yeah.
It looked like I combed my hair this morning with a rake.
That's fine.
But, oh, well.
My hair looked terrible, and I just put a hat on. So
There you go. Well, that's why I was like, the headphones will block that a little bit.
That's why I have never put my hair up doing these, and I was like, we're gonna try it tonight. It is too crazy to deal with. So
Too funny.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well.
I always like to start off and like, oh hey, I have the world's most giant microphone in the world.
You do. And did you got Allison hers, right?
I most certainly did.
Yeah.
It is very nice.
I think you had texted me you were looking for like a USB microphone. I think I had texted you back one. I don't remember though. But yeah, they're easy to find.
Now, if I was supposed to, because I showed Noah when I saw him the other day, if you wanted to know the ones, I showed him the listy thingy.
Yes.
Because Nancy didn't even look at it. But then I'm reading it, and it's like, oh, let us know in advance which ones you're going to use. And it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't do that.
That's okay.
Whatever.
We were doing that more so for planning purposes. So we could find pictures to then put up while we were talking to you. But it works also to put them
with
after.
Editing.
Yeah. So we were just kind of trying to figure out like which way would work to.
And we found out it
all
really
together.
works either way.
And it doesn't matter.
All right. So I have my cheat sheet ready.
Oh yeah, we got our question. Let me pull up ours too. It's just the answer sheet.
But I could tell. Well, yeah, it'll be like in the childhood one would be more your go-to TV show.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Did I just kick her? Oh no.
Did you?
I don't think so.
Aunt Carolyn, come back.
Oh.
I put my phone on whatchamacallit. Is she texting you perchance? I'll put mine back on.
No.
I'll text her. I think we lost you. Oh, maybe she texted me. Let's see.
Carolyn.
Nope, John's texting me.
No.
Are you texting her?
No, I'm gonna send her a GIF. What GIF should I send her?
No.
Searching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Wile E. Coyote with a pair of binoculars. I feel like that's a good one.
Nice.
Where'd you go? Question mark.
What did she say? My go-to after school was one of hers that she said.
I believe so.
She clearly did her homework though too.
I
Like,
know she
brought her-
definitely did her homework.
She talked with you about it when you guys were at Jerry's.
Mm-hmm. She showed me the list.
Noise. So technically, she did follow the rules if she showed it to you.
Well, she like. I mean, she didn't like. She just like, hey, look, I have it done, and I didn't read it or anything. But
I know, but technically, she followed the rules then.
I
I'm
suppose.
just saying, if we're gonna enforce the rules. Oh, she's calling me back.
I just texted her. Why is she calling you?
Hello.
You.
Oh no.
Oh, her power down? What the fuck?
Sounds good.
What the fuck?
So I don't know if.
Oh, she's back.
Wait, I think we got you. Let's see.
Oh, so it wasn't like it wasn't like the house lost power. It was she just turned it off.
The house didn't lose power.
No, it wasn't. So the cord was plugged into the outlet, but this cord was not plugged into that.
I hate.
I was like, I'm plugged in. What the hell? And I'm checking the computer, and then I said, oh my God, that's not plugged in. All right, that should not. We should be good now. Oh, except now I got more spam on my screen.
Nice.
I will say this, Aunt Carolyn. Noah and I made a joke earlier because we always try to do like a little intro thing.
I gotta go to my mom's house too.
You gotta do. John's talking to me.
Oh, you're good. You're good. We made a joke about the Matrix
We're
like
open it
doesn't
up,
want
Joe.
this to happen, and I feel like this just fulfilled it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help.
Woohoo! You actually played right into the bit, so you're good.
That was hysterical. All of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, where'd y'all go? And then I was like, oh my God. And I could see the power button fading.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, everything's plugged in. And no, I was not all the way plugged in. My bad.
It happens. It happens.
It happens to the best.
Okay.
I remember one time I did a show. Well, there are two instances that I can think of where we were, in the middle of a show, and we have this thing called a UPS battery backup. And
Okay.
so you put like your sensitive electronics. We use this in audio stuff all the time. So it's made for like server racks that are supposed to never you can't have the power go out, otherwise the internet goes down, sort of thing.
Right.
That's sort of why it was invented in the first place. But they sell portable ones that you can put in cases with other, computer gear that goes in a rack for audio stuff. So I plugged in on accident a power strip that's going to the stage, which is not, because if you draw too much current, it thinks that the battery's on fire and it shuts everything off.
Oh no. Oh no.
So I accidentally plugged this thing into the stage, which is something that was going to the stage, and a guy decided to plug in these really high voltage lights.
Oh no.
The entire system goes down.
Oh no.
Fun.
What?
Troubleshooting.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
The second time was the same instance. It's not the same instance, but the same piece of gear.
Oh gosh.
They have on-off switches. So we have powered UPS, which is the battery version, and then we have regular like power strip versions that are just rack-mounted power strips. So some of them are running gear, and some of them are charging people's phones and stuff. You know, some of them are like, oh, hey, this is like non-essential gear. It can, if we lose power, it's not going to break the show if it goes down or something. So we had a bunch of high school kids running all the audio backstage. And all of a sudden, you know, we're in the middle of a song, all the audio goes out.
Oh no.
And we're all like looking around like, what? So we have all the microphones networked on the network. So we can see the status of all the receivers for the wireless microphones. And so we're just kind of looking and they all go blank. We're like, what just happened?
Oops.
And this is like a dress rehearsal for like a show the next day. And like a kid had just accidentally switched the power strip and turned off all of the sound. I'm like, well, that's probably not a good thing. We should probably have some more redundancy than that. It's just
maybe we should tape that down.
Cut down all of the audio. And I go, so yes, Allison, we did tape it down.
I was gonna say, put stickers or something. Don't touch.
That was
Yeah,
our
do
workaround,
not.
was we taped it shut.
Yep.
That'll save it.
Perfect.
Too funny.
Literally, Carolyn, will happen to the best of them. Which
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm sitting there and I was like, oh no, I can't hear you. I gotta go. Luckily, when I started it up, it went right back to the same thing, and I just had to click rejoin. So,
Good.
but yeah, I was like, oh my god,
goes into it probably goes
I'm
into
2 for 2.
yeah. Hey,
Nice.
nice. So yeah, we're definitely gonna edit the you like just disappearing and us going like, what just happened?
What?
Hey, power went out. That's fun.
Yeah, you should make a bloopers reel with all your edit one day.
This is not going in bloopers. This is going on the real deal.
Oh, great. Yay. Oh, goodness.
It'll be fine.
Well, we're happy to have you on the podcast.
I'm happy
Happy
to
to-
finally have you here. No. Yeah, so we're doing our second installation of our pop culture timeline podcast stuff thing.
Woohoo.
You know, whatever you want to call it. We don't quite have an official name for it, but we have some basic questions that we've already asked our beautiful Aunt Nancy, and we are going to ask the same questions to you. And I've been told that you've prepared extensively.
Which makes my
Not
heart happy.
extensively,
It makes me happy though that
but I
it's
have
like,
notes.
yes. I'm a sucker for good notes. I've starred different questions. I'm all excited. So I hope you are too.
I have notes. I am excited. It's really cool that you guys are doing this. I think it's really cool. It's fun.
We're
Good.
hoping to keep it alive. So yeah, we'll get right to it then.
Righty.
All right. So I guess what we do on the podcast anytime we have someone on that we haven't had before, which has been everybody thus far,
Thus far.
is can you explain how we are related to you? And then can you give us one story that if you had to explain our family to someone who has never met us before, what story would you use to give the epitome of the Youngs?
Okay, so I am Carolyn. I am Allison and Noah's aunt. Their father, Tom, is my brother.
Mhm.
And the one story that kind of amuses me, and it's not even a story per se, but it was just a phrase that Pop used to always say whenever we had either be parties or gatherings or just like a Sunday night dinner, and there was multiple family members around, which is a large group, and there's just conversations upon conversations upon conversations going on, and we as Youngs can contribute in 3 different conversations at once. And Poppy would walk in the room and just yell, somebody's not talking. And different aunts and uncles through the years have used that. Like Perry would walk in and just yell, someone is not talking, or, and then that's the way. That's our family.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
That is pretty much it.
He's like, wait, someone's not talking.
There have been a couple times when I'm like looking around and go, wow, everyone is just talking over one another right now.
At once, yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Because it's never an option to like hit someone on the shoulder and be like my turn to talk. You just talk.
It doesn't.
Over.
No,
It just keeps
So what
going.
happens is I've noticed that sometimes, especially if somebody's like first time meeting the Youngs or something, they'll occasionally wait and be like, "Oh, I have something to say," and then they'll kind of wait for their turn to talk. I go, "Oh, no, you have
That'll never come.
Yep.
to say it. It's not going to happen."
And now the conversation is all the way on the other side of the field.
They're
Yeah.
gonna plow right past you.
Uh-huh.
Just
Uh-huh.
dive in.
Yep.
Yep. So that's I feel like that's very fit. Yes, just dive in. The young.
Yes.
That's our motto. Oh, well, too funny. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good one.
That amuses me.
And we're very sassy and sarcastic. So
Absolutely.
very fitting.
But
So,
yeah.
Okay, so then let's get right to it, right? The way that we've been doing this is we have it segmented into different parts of your timeline of your life. So childhood, high school, college era, adulthood, and different questions. So starting with your childhood, I believe this was one that you circled. So what was your go-to?
The go-to after school TV show. So we did not have, like nowadays you guys have, and even I do, you have TVs in multiple rooms of your house. So you had one TV for years and years. It was the one TV on the first floor that was Dad's, and then eventually there was one upstairs with Mom. So after school, Mom wasn't watching TV, Dad wasn't home. So you'd gather, it was in the living room or on the sun porch, depending on the time of year.
Mhm.
And it was either like the Brady Bunch was on, or Gilligan's Island was on, or the Partridge Family, really just terrible, awful TV shows, but iconic TV shows
Yeah.
that we watched religiously. And then the other thing with the different TV shows of that era, so then once Dad got home and you had dinner, Dad would go into the living room and watch TV, and the gaggles of people would go upstairs and watch with Mom. And there was a few different shows that Dad watched that I would watch with. He watched Bonanza and stuff like that, which I didn't like. But there was like Rockford Files, which is pretty iconic from back then.
Oh.
Quincy MD and Ellery Queen that I would watch with him.
Ah.
But like the big thing on, I think it was Sunday, you'd have like Family Classics with Fraser Thomas would be on. That would be always movies. And that would be bodies laying all over the living room. There'd be people in chairs, people in couches, and then just bodies laying all over the room. Because that would be the big TV in the living room. And you'd all watch them. Was Fraser Classics was a big one. They had Wonderful World of Disney, which used to run movies too. And then always we'd watch either the Waltons used to be on or the Muppet Show. And that would be one, those would be shows with bodies everywhere. We're just watching them on Sundays. That was cool.
Nice.
Oh man, I just love the notion, like you have to like nowadays we don't even think about it. It's like, oh, I just want to watch a show. I don't have to wait until Sunday.
Hey, like,
I don't
oh,
have to
on
wait
Sunday,
for a
yeah.
new
No,
episode to
there was no, and if someone was watching something else that you didn't want to watch and your show was on at the same time, no. And being a littler kid, especially with the one, and eventually somebody got a new TV somewhere, and one did come down in the basement, on the side where the freezer was.
Yes.
Before the freezer was there was a few different chairs and some rickety old TV sets, and us younger kids could have that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, you had a few channels. You couldn't rewind, record, pause, watch on your laptop, anything like that. No.
Nothing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Rockford Files.
I
Now
love
I've
Heard of Rockford Files? I don't think I've ever. I don't know what it's about at all.
He was a detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a detective. Rockford Files, Ellery Queen, he was a detective too. And then Quincy MD, he was a coroner.
Oh, a coroner.
Oh.
Yeah. So he liked copy mystery, kind of copy like shows and stuff, but
Gotcha. Nice.
Some of the first crime dramas and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, those were fun. But yeah, Sundays. And Julie still has, Rob actually had gotten Julie years ago. In fact, they're VHS cassettes because I'd borrowed them from her once, Madeline, of the Muppet Show.
Oh.
You know what?
They were.
I think we borrowed them too.
Did you? Oh my God. And I watched them with Madam when they were little. When she was little, I was laughing so hard.
I remember watching the Muppets with you on VHS things, and
Yeah.
I think we must have borrowed
Yeah.
the same ones. That intro, it was just so perfect.
Oh.
That whole intro song with the guys in the booth, like it was so perfect.
Yeah.
I loved the two old guys in the balcony too. They were
Yeah.
my favorite.
They were good. They were good.
Yes.
Absolute favorite.
Those two and Animal's right up your alley. He was the drummer.
Animal, for
Animal
sure.
rocks.
I
That's
always
a great
liked Beaker. Wasn't that the little scientist
Beaker,
guy?
yeah, the little side swing. Beep, 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 beep. Him and
Yeah.
the chicken.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Chef.
Yep. Oh, the chef.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
right.
Italian chef or whatever, French chef,
Yes.
Swedish chef.
French chef,
Oh, Swedish chef. There you
Swedish chef. That's
go.
it.
There you go.
I guessed every
We're
other
gonna get there.
country.
We're gonna get there eventually, you know?
Geography, my strong suit.
You know. I'm only a geography instructor and I didn't
There
get
you go.
It's fine.
Oh man.
But yeah, Julie Rob had gotten those, I believe, for Julie, and I think several family members borrowed them.
Oh yeah. They're
Wow.
They're so funny.
man.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Nice.
So then what other parts of your childhood did you want to tell a story about?
The only other one on the list. So Nancy already hit up the popcorn, and that would be the big thing on Sunday. You'd be laying around, and it was popcorn
Gotcha.
and Kool-Aid. We didn't have soda; it was a Kool-Aid. But then the one other thing that just was funny that so Mom went shopping. Pappy got paid like every 2 weeks, so she went shopping, and it kind of had groceries for 2 weeks. So
Mhm.
like the first week, you had all the good food. You had like the cereal and the sugary cereal, the Fruit Loops and stuff like that, and different things. By the last week, for breakfast, you were having toast and jelly and oatmeal and stuff. But like the first week, you ate like kings. And she'd always get cream cheese, Philadelphia cream cheese, which was just, we loved in our house. And for years, it was in a brick, and then it used to come out in the tub. So then you'd have the tub, and so you'd have it with crackers or whatever. But she used to save the containers and like reuse them as Tupperware because you didn't have Gladware and Tupperware like you do now. So she would have, put the leftover vegetables from dinner in there. So you'd be all excited. You go in the refrigerator and like, oh, there's still, week 2 and there's still cream cheese in there. And you open it up and it's leftover something else. It was always such a disappointment. But that was the other thing with the snacks and the food from Nancy. The popcorn was a huge thing. But the cream cheese leftover container, I can tell you, everyone can vouch for doing that once. Get all excited.
I've probably done that before too, where it's like
It's just part of it.
yeah, or it's like if you're going to grab something to drink and then somebody puts it back with like just a little bit left.
Really, seriously, yes. Same thing.
It's like the same disappointment. You go, oh, this figure.
Oh, the sinking feeling. You're like, darn it.
Yep.
So close.
Yep. And then the only other thing that I had from that, you had on there about toys, wanting to play with or things like that.
There were some good toys back in the day.
No, but we didn't have, God, the one thing that we had that was awesome, we used to have big wheels. We had many big wheels, and they had plastic. They weren't made of rubber. They were plastic, so they were worn out. You'd wear them out that it would be round and with a flat spot, so you'd pedal and then bump, pedal, bump. We had big wheels, which I love playing with big wheels in the driveway. And then the other thing we had, and Nana had made that. So Jerry had Barbies, and me and Julie were younger and just get into Barbies. I don't know if you ever knew. So down in the basement, there was this big, tall cabinet with a bunch of shelves. It was a bookshelf, a storage cabinet. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
And Nana had put a padlock on it for some reason or whatever as a ruse. I forget what the story she even told us.
She's hiding something. It was
no, but for months,
that's what it was.
After we'd gone to bed, she went in and transformed that into this like 7-story Barbie penthouse. And it was
What?
Jerry had a room. My doll had a room, and Julie had a room. And the first floor was like a living room area, 2 doors wide. And then you had like a kitchen and some other room, then the 3 bedrooms, and there was a bathroom. And then the top floor was like doll roddy things hanging up where all the Barbie clothes and accessories were up there. It was awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That
It
is so
was
cool.
awesome.
Very
And she
sweet.
did it all by hand with like leftover carpet. She had carpet
Yeah.
and wallpaper and everything. It was awesome.
That
I-
sounds cool.
I bet she looked at it and was like, "Oh, I know what I can do with that."
I know exactly what I can do with it.
And some of the things that she made some of the furniture and stuff out of. So there was some dish soap that it must have been lemon flavored, and the top was a giant lemon. So she'd
Ah.
taken that off. And those were the bathroom light fixtures hanging over the sink that she made, were these lemon pendants. And it
What?
was, I kid you not. I don't know. I know there was a picture in the newspaper article because the guy next door was a writer for the newspaper. So there was a picture in the newspaper.
Oh my god.
But I don't know if we have any other pictures we ever took.
Darn it.
It was amazing.
I'll have to go. I know that I can access like archive newspapers and stuff.
It was in the Sun Times. He was a writer for the Sun Times.
I'll have to go, and next time
That's
I'm home, I'll pay a visit and get some.
Yeah,
try
it
to
was.
find 'cause
It
that
was
sounds
really
so
cool. The bathroom. I remember the bathroom vanity was like 3 or 4 blocks of like 2x4s or whatever that were just nailed together, which she painted or had contact paper on. But then had carved out enough that she took a baby food lid jar, inverted it so that you had like little silvery sinky thingies.
Oh my goodness.
It was really, really, really cool.
Donna is like a crafty woman, man.
It was really cool.
She knows how to make her knickknacks. That's
It was very cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we played with that for years.
Oh
Oh, I
yeah.
bet.
Mhm.
Awesome. Holy cow.
That reminds me one time, I think it was me. We were at the Youngs, like Mel, Teresa, Sarah's house. We were young. And there were just like a ton of shoe boxes everywhere. And we're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make a mansion out of them. And we just sat there and like hot glued like random stuff together. We made like a marble pendant light and like all these little chairs and stuff out of like thimbles and all sorts
Yeah.
of fun stuff.
Hey,
And-
you got it in your jeans.
I guess so. I'm like,
That is from your nana.
feeling nostalgic. Yeah. My goodness. That
Yeah.
was too
Oh
funny.
man.
That was very cool. It was very cool.
That would be like the
So-
coolest thing to play with.
Yeah. So did you grow up at only the Kensington house? Excuse me.
No, I moved into the Kensington house when I was in kindergarten, so around 5.
Very
So I do remember some of Maplewood, not gobs because I was little, but I do
Yeah.
remember some. I remember the garage. I remember the train track, the fields, and then the tennis court. There was a park on the other side, and I went to like a pre-kindergarten program or a kiddie day camp program down there. And I remember the park had those. That was one of those things. They had like a splash pad with the big cement bumps that shot the water.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
broke my pen.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, we moved when I was in kindergarten.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm tracking it now.
It's all coming. We're getting things in line here.
It's all
Yeah.
coming together.
Like we're putting the time,
So then, okay, so you moved into the Kensington house when you were in kindergarten. So that was your childhood. So then, because that's the last house that you guys lived in, so that was also high school for you.
That was, yeah.
Okay.
That was from when we moved in there till I got married and moved out. That was the only house I was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then, high school. I know you have some circled,
But go ahead, ask what you
I
want.
have one that I really am curious about. Your most regrettable fashion choice, because I find this.
Oh, okay,
fun.
so yeah,
And then
this
your-
I have.
And then your best one, of course, followed
I
by your
can't
best
think of any best ones.
one. Only your worst?
I can really think of worst. So I was really into, and I'm not tall or anything like that, so they look terrible on me, but overalls.
Overall?
I went through a period for a year that I was very into overalls for some reason. I don't know why. It was terrible. They
I
were
hope
terrible.
There's lots of photo evidence.
There's a few.
Oh yes.
And then the other was like the Farrah Fawcett hair, and my hair really kind of didn't do it. I want to say somewhere in the house was my senior graduation picture, and I kind of have it in that. I used to trim my hair myself, trying to get my hair to do things that it was not. Mother Nature did not want it to do. No.
Cooperate with you. No.
Yep. I've been there. I
I've been
feel
there-
that.
I've been there
Yes.
too. I've been there too.
So that was very regrettable through high school.
Oh man.
Overalls and the Farrah Fawcett hair. I can
I
see
wore
it now.
overalls. And then yeah. So this is in high school. And then if it was like summer, and if it was overall shorts, you wore like a tank top or a tube top with the overalls, and then it was au risque.
Of
Yeah.
course. You know, going out on the town.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Very regrettable.
Everybody's got one thing that they're like, wow,
Oh, yeah.
why did I think that looked good?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hopefully there's not too many pictures. I know there's a couple that I have seen.
Here they? No, I don't know.
I will say this. I think overalls kind of recently made like a little comeback too.
Yeah.
I think like
people with emotionally disturbed people have always been attracted to overalls. So I think
present company
Thanks,
excluded.
Noah.
Present company excluded.
I'm just joking.
Too funny.
So yeah, what was our next question?
What else do you? I was gonna say for high school. What else do you got?
The only other thing, so high school, yeah. All right, so you had on here, who was your celebrity crush?
Yes.
There was a television show called The Hardy Boys Mysteries,
Oh.
and Sean Cassidy was on that, and I used to think he was very cute. And then he became music.
Gotcha.
That's how I know. Yeah.
But me and Julie used to watch that, and Julie actually liked Parker Stevenson, which was the other Hardy Boys brother. So there was
that
no
worked out.
conflict there. It worked out well.
Perfect.
That always amused me. That always amused me.
No overlap in taste. So that's
There was no overlap in taste. No, she liked him, and I liked the other one.
nice.
Oh, and then the other one was about music.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do not remember the first album or anything that I bought. I do remember the first concert I went to when I was in high school. That was
Let's hear
ZZ
it.
Top.
Woo!
Your first concert was ZZ Top.
Up at Poplar Creek, yeah.
Holy cow! I
Dang.
never would have guessed that in a million.
ZZ Top, yeah. So we'd gone with a group of friends, and who I don't even remember who was driving, but their father wouldn't let us use their car. But he rented us a car from some place called Rent-A-Wreck. So it was like not great cars. I swear to God, it was called Rent-A-Wreck.
What?
And we went up there. So you're in the line going into Poplar Creek. So you're in the line, and one of the other friends that we were with just kept yelling out the window to people like, where are you from? And they'd say where we're from. And then he'd go, we're from LaGrange. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Everybody in line. It was hysterical. That's why that's so vivid in my memories, because I remember that.
Oh,
This Rent-A-Wreck car and yelling at people out the windows that we were from LaGrange, going, ah, ha, ha.
I can't get over the fact that a company existed that was called Rent-A-Wreck.
It was called Rent-A-Wreck.
Rent-A-Wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over the fact that that joke was so perfect.
And we yelled it out the window too, because it was a long, I think it was one entrance, there was a long line. Yeah, yelled it out for like easily to hundreds of cars.
And I love, because I have looked at John before, like anytime that song comes on, and I'm like, you know, my grandma lives in LaGrange, and he's like, you
Right.
say that every time.
Exactly.
Like, thank you. And I just can't get over the fact that there were like high schoolers in a car saying they were from
Yelling out the
LaGrange.
window.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, isn't LaGrange like a sleazy joint in the song? And
Probably,
these high
yes.
school students are like, hey, we're from there.
And technically, I was from LaGrange Park too, even
Exactly.
so I didn't correct anybody.
You know.
Well, yeah. So yeah. And
I
then
still.
that
So ZZ Top, like,
was my first concert in
what got
Poplar
you
Creek.
into ZZ Top? Was that like your choice of the concert? Were friends?
Someone's like, "Come on, go!" Like, yeah, we'll go. Yeah. I had a very diverse music taste,
Yeah.
and Tom and Steve at home with their album collection.
Right.
You just had it. I remember. I still have cassettes that he has made me. But like he introduced me to like Duke Tomato and the All-Star Frogs, and like Elvis Costello, and I mean, I had a large selection.
Yeah.
Of music. Was awesome. Still is awesome.
Yeah.
And concerts were cheap, and we had a lot of venues around, so
That is true.
I went to Gobs.
So jealous.
That's awesome.
Gobs of concert. I've seen, good Lord, I've seen John Cougar Mellencamp. I've seen Elton
Nice.
John. Elton John was really, really good. I've seen U2. That was a later one. I've actually went to a bunch with Tom. Who was that? He had concert season tickets.
I know that my dad has he said he's seen Cheap Trick maybe 1,000 times because they just opened for everybody in Chicago.
Very well. I've seen probably Santana 10 times. They were constantly everywhere.
I saw Santana like recently, like I think a year or two ago. Well, obviously not a year because this last year was crazy. So I guess 2 years ago I saw him, and he was down in Ohio, and it was such a cool concert.
He puts on a really good live show.
It was great, and then it was the Doobie Brothers opened for him, so that was just like fantastic.
That's an interesting lineup.
Yeah, I know.
The Elton John concert, that was hysterical. That was, I want to say it was me and Jamie. And I don't know why we were the only two at home this one Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. We were out doing yard work. And we had the radio on. They were talking about there were still lawn seats available in Poplar Creek. I said, well, let's go. And we're like, okay.
Why not?
So we had, enough money to get concert tickets. So we, drove up, bought tickets there, sat and watched the concert. It was a really, really good show. So we didn't have a lot of gas money though. So getting out, you had to wait a little. I was like, well, we can't go anywhere because I can't sit there and idle, run out of gas.
Right.
So we had to sit and wait a little bit to get to the car. So we're just meandering. We got, water to drink, went to the bathroom. So we're going up. And on the way into the concert, there's this big dumpster that they confiscate liquor that people are trying to smuggle in. And they just throw it all in this big dumpster.
Oh, boy.
Jamie climbed up into the dumpster to get us something to drink, to just hang out in the parking lot. And we'll finish while we're waiting until all the cars are leaving and people are walking by. And so he's just like handing out shit to people out of this dumpster till we got chased away by security.
So Uncle Jamie did this?
Uncle Jamie did that. Yeah.
What?
That was probably,
brilliant.
that was still high school or just past high school age, but yeah.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That's amazing. That's wow.
I've seen the equivalent of that when there were like the Blackhawks parades and like the White Sox parade. They would not corner off, but you'd have to go through security checkpoints to go stand by everything. And there was just tons of bottles of liquor.
Right.
Well,
they left unguarded on the way out, so
they might as well.
They didn't care what you do with it afterwards.
Oh.
Why don't you bring it in?
I do love that they're like, hey, do you need some? Here.
Yeah, he just was, people would walk by there, you're like, hey, and so Jamie would hand something out to them.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Oh
That's
my
brilliant.
God.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Max security. That's something that would never happen today.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You also couldn't just hear about a concert on the radio and decide to go.
No,
Like that's
right.
not a thing anymore.
You can still do that. Well, not
I don't know.
right.
I guess for big bands, like for Elton John, you couldn't do that, but
Yeah.
for some of the littler venues, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's amazing. Looking at like the prices of, and I don't recall it being terribly expensive even. Like they're like 150. When the who was it? Rolling Stones was going. I looked for a minute to go see.
Yeah.
And they were like $600 a ticket. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, correct me. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Noah, but this is my 2 cents, just barely understanding the music industry. But if I remember correctly from something I was reading, it was that back in the day, a lot of sales for artists, like they made their money through like albums and CDs and things like that.
Right.
But nowadays,
physical medium was what was selling.
yeah.
Right.
And so they could.
You didn't have download and everything.
So then they could charge cheaper stuff for their concerts because that was mostly just kind of like publicity for you to go buy the other stuff that would make them the money.
The concert
so
was
nowadays, and nowadays it's flipped because you can stream everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they only make their money selling
that makes sense.
giant concert venue shows.
But now what's happening is a lot of record labels are encroaching on that space, saying, well, we're the ones who are going to start putting on your concerts now. We get a slice of this. And so what a lot of people have been fighting back against is there have been some people who have been, or some contracts that are trying to get slices from your merch sales. Like, oh, we get 10% of this too. Oh, we get 10% of that too. Your ability to sell it at our concert, we're going to take a slice of that. We're going to charge you.
Wow.
So there's, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when the way that you make money completely shifts 180 degrees. And then all of a sudden that last little bit that really is like pennies of what artists used to get paid in the heyday of music, but it's just this pittance that's left, and then that still has to get divided by everybody evenly, and then by the time everybody gets it, it's like,
it was much more simpler.
Streaming definitely did that. I think the increased production cost of shows increased on that. But, you know, a touring production is a big investment to get going. So I don't think it makes its money back until, you know, I'd say 3/4 of the way into the show is when you're thinking about getting your money back. Like 3/4 of the way into the tour. Because, you know, there's so much upfront cost. You have to pay everybody's salaries for all that. And then you have to multiply all of that by however many people are on the crew. You're getting hotels every night. It's absurd the amount of cost that goes into all this stuff. And it's all this background stuff that nobody really thinks about, but it still, you know, adds up. And that's why prices are.
Well, and it's a shame for like your generation, you know, to be able to afford prices for tickets. I mean, I saw.
Which is why you're not seeing as many. The age of the rock star, the arena rock star, that's dead. That's not coming back. Like whoever is established now is just going to keep touring until they die, until you know, some mumble rapper comes up and goes, "I'm going to be the best forever." And then that'll be.
Jethro Tull was a big one that I saw that I loved too.
Oh, I don't know if I'm familiar with him.
I'm not.
Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull?
No.
I think so.
I like how you're staring at us.
Your father has albums.
Okay.
I don't know what you were into.
Everything. I was not limited.
So then, okay, what was the most like? So obviously, who you just mentioned, Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull. So besides him, who is like another one that you think maybe we haven't heard of that we need to dig deep and go find some music?
The funny thing with that too is Alex a few years ago found my old stereo up in the garage, and he's like, "Hello, you've been holding out on me all these years." Me and John, I had one, John had one, and then I think we bought even more when we got married. And then here we don't have that, so it was just all up in the garage. Speakers, huge speakers, little speakers, lots of. He has 90% of the equipment up in his room. Yeah.
Of course.
I would expect nothing less.
I was gonna say.
And then he had there were 2 or 3 turntables up there, and he's like, "Oh, do you have albums?" I said, "Oh, do we have albums?" Those weren't in the garage, obviously, for heat reasons.
Very nice.
So dug out all my old albums, and I was sitting there going through John's collection, which I was like, ick. It was ick.
Under the bus.
Yeah, man.
Under the bus.
It was ick. If you look at what he has a lot of my, there were Who by Numbers was a really, really good album. So I'm going off my albums. If they were really good, I had the albums. Otherwise, I had cassettes. Billy Joel 52nd Street is a really good album.
Yes.
But yeah, so Alex has all my album collections up there. So they're being reused.
Oh, good.
Well loved.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, I've our record collection is currently not in storage, but it's like, you know, packed away upstairs. But I definitely have to dust that thing out and like
dust them up,
alphabetize it, and then you know, find a working needle for my record players. I mean, yeah. Although
we do have one technically.
We did get Dad a record player with a USB interface on it, so you can record straight into your computer, which is nice. So he was going through and trying to get like a lot of his, like, I think he did Supertramp. He did
Breakfast in America. That's a great album. Yeah.
Going through, he's like, what are some of the big, you know, I have all of their albums sort of thing. What can I rip from? So yeah, he's definitely got all those recordings. So
we had Todd, and him and Steve, that was a hysterical one. I don't remember who was moving out, and they just had crates and crates and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of albums.
My dad calls that the incident.
When they had to separate them. Oh my God.
Yep.
I bought that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't put labels on them or things.
He said it would like a record. They'd fight over a record and they say, all right, we're just going to leave it. And then they'd come back to it like a week later and the fight would start again. It's like, all right, no, we're ignoring it.
Yeah, because those two, they love their music.
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
goodness.
Did not separate their album collections.
No.
Nope to self. Right.
I think he warned us all. Yes.
Learn by example.
Yes.
Exactly. So any other high school era stories that you got for us?
Out.
No, post high school ish. You were asking about car stories about my first
Yeah.
car.
Always a good. There's the reason I like car stories is because there's plenty of stuff that could go wrong with a car story.
There was a couple, and I can't remember now. I think it was hold on, I have to ask John. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
You're used to it.
I can't remember if it was a Skyhawk or a Skylark. I think it was a Skyhawk.
Skylark is a car.
It was a Buick Skyhawk or Skylark.
Buick Skylark. Yeah.
No, then it was a Skyhawk because it's not around anymore, I think.
No, Skylark is the correct one. There's
But they had a.
no Skyhawk.
All right. Oh, it was a Skyhawk.
Skylark.
You'd have to Google it. I don't remember, but it was one of those. So I had bought it, and I literally had it like 3 hours.
Oh God, really?
And the and the knob to turning off the light or something. You went to turn off the light. It was this little wheel, and it just went boop, and it was in the dashboard. And I could not turn off the lights. And it's nighttime, and it's like, how I can't turn off the car because then I will have a dead battery because I can't turn off the lights. So I drove back up to the guy, the place. I literally only had it a couple. I go, dude, this just fell into the dashboard. And so he's like, look at that. So they had to, in order to get it out, he had to do much work. And it's like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And he's like, well, we're just going to do this. So he took like all the fuses out except for the headlight. And he's like, all right, so when you get home, just pull this fuse. Because I could not, I don't know how they were all connected. All I know is I had to pull the fuse out when I got home. And then he had a spot for me the next morning to bring it in and fix it. I literally had it for hours.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
And it just went boop and fell in the dashboard.
Then the solution was, we'll just pull the fuses out. Duh.
Because there's no way to turn. They're trying to go home.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And they had to pull out the dashboard to get the knob, to reconnect the knob. So, but yeah, that was a good car. I had that for many, many years. The other story that I like about that car, Julie's not gonna like. Well, Julie won't mind it.
Oh.
So you know how the apron to pull in poppies you come in straight, and then there's an apron, and then there's 2 spots in the garage.
Yeah.
For some reason, I used to be, Pappy always had to be in the garage. I was one that didn't necessarily drive. I had a car, but I didn't drive to work. I literally worked like a block from work, so I just walked to work. So I would always be in the garage because I wouldn't have to be part of the car shuffle chess game to move cars in and out.
That's right.
So I want to say it was a Sunday morning, and I'm laying in bed, and Julie comes up into my room, and she's like, Carolyn, I got to tell you something. So she was pulling Pappy's car out and hit my car.
Oh.
But I'm laying in bed Sunday. It was early Sunday morning, and I was really, 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 really hungover. I go, Julie, that's okay. I forgive you. Go get me a Coke. I don't care. And she's like, no, Carolyn, I hit your car. I go, it's fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Just go get me a Coke.
Yep.
So she had to walk. We didn't have Coke in the house, so she walked over to Rash Pharmacy, got me a Coke, and so I get up hours later. So she was backing out, and you have to swing it to make the apron.
Right.
And the station wagon Poppy drove was a tank. Again, hit all the porches and things like that. There were not dents on the car. The porches were total. The car was not dented. So her front bumper caught the entire length of my car. Got the front, and it was just like this big gouge and dent all the way in, like the whole side of the car.
Oh.
And I'd already forgiven her hours earlier, so I couldn't really yell at her now. I go, yeah, that is really, really, really bad.
That's a bad one.
When I said you're forgiven.
Yeah, so it happened. So, but yeah, so I did make her, and we went through the insurance because it was hitting the parking lot.
Yeah.
Of course.
So then she just had to do the deductible for whatever that
Nice.
was. So I made her pay for that. But she bought me the Coke. I was like, Julie, I forgive you. Just get me a Coke. And she's
do
like,
love
no,
that.
Carolyn, it's bad. And I was like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just get me a Coke. I was just dying of thirst.
Lucked out, man. She lucked out.
And then I remember trading the car in. And so I had that probably shortly after high school, because that's when I started working after high school. I didn't go to college. I started working in high school and lived at home. So you had money.
Mhm.
And then when me and John had gotten married, I had it for a couple more years, and we finally were trading it in the dealership at this. And you live in Chicago winter, so it was a rust bucket,
Right.
with some quirks. So he goes to do all the trade-in things like this, and he asks if, and I've had this happen to me twice. He asks if the car runs. I go, yeah, the car runs. And he goes, okay, and did the whole thing. So then when we were all done and they went to go move it, and he's like, well, you didn't say it was rusty. And I go, you didn't ask if it was rusty. You asked if it ran.
Yeah.
It runs. Because there was actually a hole in the floorboard in the passenger side where you could see the cement. I mean, it was rusty. It was rusty. But he didn't ask that. He asked if it ran.
Exactly.
Never.
And it did. It did run. And then the car that we had bought, we bought the Pontiac. And so then years later, when we trade after we had the kids, and it was a pain in the ass getting car seats in and out, and we got a minivan, go to trade the Pontiac in. And the same thing, the guy asks if it runs. I go, yes, it runs. So finish everything.
Fine. I can turn it on, turn it off. It's good.
He goes to, well, we had broken, no, the motor mounts were broken. So it drove and you just shook. So he goes to move the car and the whole car shakes. He's like, you didn't say it did that. I go, you didn't ask if it did that. You asked if it ran.
Sometimes you're supposed to disclose the problems with
He didn't ask. He
The
goes, does it run?
technicalities.
It ran.
Oh no.
So
Oh.
yeah, those
Hey.
were but they don't ask. So I didn't tell.
I was gonna say you found the loophole.
But
That's
then they
called
come in,
smart
then they come
negotiating.
back in aghast that I didn't tell them. And I said, you didn't ask.
Right.
Don't ask
You didn't even go look. You didn't care. You were worried about the sale. It's
Mhm.
not like they gave you gobs of money, but they obviously could not resell either
Yeah.
of these.
You can
So-
scrap them for parts, and that's
Oh,
about
totally. Totally. I drive cars till they're dead.
That's what I did with my last one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else we got on what else we got for our college era?
The only other thing is the drink of choice at a bar.
Ooh, what do you got?
That's a Miller Lite, pretty much. Unless,
a Miller Lite in your hands.
you know what I am missing in COVID and at beginning of COVID? So I do like a good mixed drink, and I'll have them at weddings or restaurants or things like that.
Yeah.
I was really missing a good Long Island iced tea. I
Ooh.
wanted a Long Island. So I was Googling mixes, and there's this guy's, what's the best Long Island iced tea mix? And he goes, none. They all suck.
Yeah.
Buy the ingredients and make them.
Yeah.
So, and then he had the whole recipe. So I'm making a shopping list for John to go get me all the ingredients. And there's like
Mhm.
5 or 6 liquors in there. And he's like, Carolyn, this is like, $120 for one drink. I was like, well, it'll make more than one drink.
Exactly. We're stocking the bar cart. at
Yeah,
that
needless
point.
to say, I didn't talk him into that.
Aw.
Oh.
But
Well, what you'll have to do is the next time that you guys all get together to taste beers, instead you should each bring one alcohol and then
and make Long Island iced tea.
because then you could search all like the different mixed drinks that you could make with those alcohols that you've all brought.
Yeah,
So then, like-
Madeline and Taylor are getting into experimenting with mixed drinky thingies. Yeah.
It is very fun.
Their flavor I forget what the pretentious name for it is now, but they
Oh, I
have
don't know.
like
So the beer flavor ones, or
like people like bartenders have like pretentious names for themselves. The more like fancy they make.
mixologists.
Mixologist. That's exactly what I'm
They're mixologists.
mixologist.
Uh-huh.
I'm a mixologist. I just like to experiment with flavors. So
Hey, if you're gonna make me a good drink, you can call yourself a bartender or a mixologist. I don't care.
yeah, as long as it's tasty, I don't give a crap.
I'll sample them.
One of my old bosses, he would always, hey, we're getting going to this Greek place. Oh, I'll have a gyro. He's like, that's like, so we finally went to the guy who ran the Greek place. He's like, how do you pronounce it? Is it gyro or euro? And he goes,
Euro.
give me $5.
Good answer.
Awesome.
So needless to say, you never got the answer.
I think I did get the answer, and it was, who cares?
Yep.
It's still good.
Yep.
$5, please.
Too
Yep.
funny.
Oh, that is funny.
Too funny.
All right. So we had concert experience. We got your drink of choice.
Yep.
Dorm snack. Did you? You
Didn't go to college, no.
apply. Yeah, I don't know. I think.
Well, I was gonna say, what other stories do you have from the time? So then you moved out of Nana's house,
adult life.
newly married to Uncle John. Like, what were you guys doing? What were you guys doing for fun?
What was a night
Oh,
like?
that was so we were the first of John's friends to get married. And we bought a house actually not too far from the neighborhood he grew up with.
Gotcha.
So we were the party house.
Mm.
Oh.
Julie had been to many, Scott has been to many. So the thing would be like Saturday night, we were into we did movies a little bit, but you had to go to Blockbuster, rent them and this and that. It was not as fun, but we were into board games. We would sit and play board games, Pictionary and poker and
Nice.
things like that. And the one thing, Scott, and then Julie and Scott, there would be various people that slept over because the one thing was the rule was when the Sunday morning hit the front door, and I had a big aluminum front door, the Sunday morning paper, and it was delivered at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. That hit the front door. Everyone had to go home that was going home, or at least we have to stop and get a little bit of shut eye.
Yes.
But we would stay up all night and we would play board games.
That is so interesting. I feel like it hasn't changed much.
I
Like
think we're definitely at the same point where it's like, we're all gonna get super drunk and super wasted, and what do we play? Oh, Secret Hitler or something.
Yeah.
Cards Against Humanity, like all those kinds
Humanity's
of
always
things.
a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Julie remember one time getting up, we were cleaning up a little bit, and then we just went out the front deck or the back deck, watched the sunrise, and then went to bed.
Oh, because at that point you're like, I might as well.
Well,
You got to get a little bit of shut eye.
Yes.
We watched the sunrise first, but yeah,
Yeah. I think it counts.
it was a big party house.
Nice.
We didn't have Madeline 4 or 5 years. We were married before we had Matt, so we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
Tore
And
it up
then-
in those 4 years.
So then that was not the house that you live in now.
No, after Madeline was 1, we actually moved on Madeline's first birthday to this house.
Gotcha.
And then we've been here 26 years,
Yeah.
27. How old are you, Allison?
27.
Okay.
27? Now I don't
don't
know. I'm
know.
turning 20. Yeah, I'm 27. I'm turning 28 this year.
Ow.
Okay, so then we've been here 20. If Madeline's going to be 28 this year, we've been here 27 years.
Wait,
Dang.
now I don't know. I was 93.
Because I know
That's Madeline.
we've been in our house for 24 years because I was born when this.
So 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, I'm 27. I was 3 when you moved into that house. I know. I'm saying as if I didn't live there.
Oh,
too.
yeah, we moved on when Madeline was 1.
Gotcha. Okay. So then you've been there ever since.
We've
That
been
makes
here
sense. So
ever
then,
since.
so that brings us to adulthood then.
Yeah.
So adulthood, yeah, I got nothing in adulthood. Well, the car was in adulthood, but college. Oh, I'm sorry, the adulthood's the down. So I don't binge watch TV shows. Everyone tells me, oh, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. I don't binge watch. I've been watching a lot of movies.
Ooh.
Oh,
What's
And
been
there was
tickling
something
your
about
fancy?
secret gem movies that I was intrigued with. And then
Yes.
sports teams, I watch all of them pretty much religiously.
Well, all of them.
he would watch anything to do.
Yeah.
He would just be like, what? Bowling? Okay, let's watch it. I
I'm
remember.
Yeah.
very excited for March Madness to see how they do that this year. It's going to be different, but I'm excited for March Madness.
Yes. And then all the Chicago teams, right? That's your
Well, Chicago teams, yeah. I
bread and
actually, yeah, Chicago Fire. Well, there's Chicago Sting now, the Red Stars. And I actually 2 Christmases ago, Alex got me because me and Jerry and Nancy would go to Red Stars game, and I did not have a Red Star shirt. So Alex got me one for Christmas,
Nice.
and
Perfect.
then we had the pandemic. So I
Oh.
couldn't go to any Red Stars game with my Red Stars shirt. So
Oh,
that was
man.
sad. Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, basketball I like, football.
If you had to pick one, what would you say your favorite sport is? And can I guess? Is it soccer?
It is soccer.
Okay.
I was about to say. I was like, I think
Okay.
that question answers.
Oh yeah, between and it's not even just the MLS league. You have Euro Cup, you have World Cup, you have with John's family we watch the Mexican leagues too. Me and Harvey will always put the game on. So yeah, it's not just MLS.
Did you play soccer? Because I feel like whenever I talk to an aunt and uncle or a cousin, at some point they were like in a league playing soccer.
I mean, I played peewee soccer. I know.
I did not. In
never
high school I was in track for a year.
Gotcha.
No, I just like soccer.
Yeah.
And this is going back to then. I think Tom got me into soccer because he used to play in a league. I used to go to his.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
We used to watch World Cup. And Nancy was soccer because Nancy went up to Canada when this thing won their championship.
What?
How did we
Nancy?
that? She went
Nancy.
Nancy. What? Nancy.
Okay. All right. So again, you had 3 TV stations. And it's not like, kind of like now, don't spoil the game, don't spoil the game. I'm watching it home on DVR. This was don't spoil the game, don't spoil the game. But nobody on radio talked about the game. The game was not televised live. I want to say it was played that night, like on WGN or something. So we stayed up late that night to watch it.
Gotcha.
But Nancy went up to, I think it was the NASL, National Soccer League back then. And this thing was in it. They played in Canada. I'm pretty sure it was Canada. You'd have to double check with Nancy. She went, and she actually has a chunk of the net.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Dang.
But
Those
yeah,
are the
you
things
grew.
that you got to frame,
Yeah. But there was always, everyone was just big sports people in our house. You watched sports, so.
Right. So those are the ones that stuck with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we got sports.
then
you said
Let's hear those.
Okay,
Jen
so
movies.
secret movies. I'm going to tell you, and me and Jen have watched a lot of movies. Some really good, some really bad. I actually just watched when I was sitting with the dog yesterday. So she had her surgery, so you had to sit on the couch. There was nothing on TV.
Of course.
So I was flipping around, see what's new added to on demand was Terminal, which I'd never seen with Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
John's like, this is an old movie. And I go, I've never seen it though. That was enjoyable. But that wasn't on my list of. So I found, and Madeline did not watch it. Did you guys ever see Hugo?
No,
No.
It's
I
delightful.
never did. Is it? Okay.
Was. I enjoyed it immensely. It was delightful. It was delightful. It has a twist to sci-fi that you two might like. It's about this kid. Madeline attempted to watch it. I like warm, fuzzy movies or dark, twisted movies.
Yeah. But
Yes.
I'm on both edge. So Hugo was warm and fuzzy.
Right.
Disney Plus has Eddie the Eagle, which was warm and fuzzy. It was delightful. That's a new movie.
That one. Okay, I'll have to do that one
It's
too.
just recently out. I watched it a couple of weeks ago. Hugo, I watched a few months ago. Eddie the Eagle was delightful. I watched it. And then Netflix has Carrie Pilby, which was Carrie Pilby.
Huh.
That's
What is
on
that?
Netflix.
that one.
Just this girl named Carrie Pilby and her life.
Cool.
It was just quirky and delightful.
Okay.
And then 2 twisted, just darker ones, not twisted, but darker. So a friend of Julie's that I follow on Facebook or whatever, Marty, had put in a movie, she put in Rudderless. Wow. And I was like, okay, so let's go look and watch it. So I watched the trailer and I thought, oh, it looks interesting. Watched it. That was just wow. It was very good. Rudderless. Rudderless.
Okay. Could you give us a 2-second tease for it?
I cannot without spoiling anything.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay. All right.
There was a plot development that I sensed, but it didn't really come to fruition and I was just like, oh, wow.
Okay.
That was good. It was dark. It was about a father dealing with the loss of his son.
Okay.
And he didn't deal with it well.
Gotcha.
It was good.
Gotcha.
And then one that just came out on Netflix recently, it was in like the top 10, was I Care a Lot.
That looks good.
It was very good.
Was it?
Oh,
I enjoyed it. It was
Okay.
dark because
Yeah.
Madeline's
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't watch it, because this happens in real life. And there are scammers there.
Mhm.
But it was good. And it was heading, I will discuss
Yeah.
it later, but it was heading somewhere and it was good.
Oh man.
Nice.
Oh,
That
I've
was very
always-
good.
That girl was also in Gone Girl.
Gone Girl,
And
yeah.
I remember that movie
That-
blew my mind.
Yeah.
So when I saw her in this commercial, I was like, oh, she'll play this part really well.
Yeah.
She played it very well.
Like an uncaring sociopath. I know who.
Ding, ding, ding,
She's
ding,
done-
ding.
she's done that before. That's her wheelhouse now.
She does do it well. It was very good. It was very
Yes.
good. So yeah, I like really warm and fuzzy or just intrigue with, good plots.
Yeah.
Nice.
When did you kind of discover that, like, was the intrigue stuff? Are you thinking back all the way to like all those cop shows that you watched when you were younger and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, this is kind of reminiscent?
It could be, yeah. Because John, and that's trying to find something that both of us like. So like when we're looking for a movie, you have like, you can make lists. And I always save things to the list. Oh, another one that I saw, Ride Like a Girl, was good.
Ooh,
I haven't seen
I've heard of it. Have not
That was
watched it
good.
yet.
That was a warm fuzzy one. That was good too.
Nice, nice.
But so I will sit and put all warm fuzzy ones, and then I try to find these because John likes either like war, shoot, bang, bang, kill, kill. I get tired of those after a while, and cop
Yeah.
movies.
That's
So these are like a nice medium.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thriller, intrigue, all that kind of stuff.
exactly.
Gotcha.
nice.
So yeah, good action flick too.
Yeah. Yeah. What about like what is your go-to if someone's like, what is your like a classic movie that you're just like,
Oh,
I could put it on, I could watch it a million times. If it's on TV, I'll leave it on. You know?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Fantastic choice. Yeah, that's
is-
still in like if I can judge a movie on like it's a good story or it's like a well constructed movie, but those are good. There are the so bad it's good movies, but then there's like movies that I could just watch. It doesn't
Over.
matter. I just could. Doesn't matter where you go. It's just a watchable movie.
Yeah.
Princess Bride is maybe one of the most watchable movies of all
That
time.
is one of my all-time favorites.
Go watch Princess Bride. Oh, it's
Yes.
I would put that on a pedestal and say it's closest to a perfect movie that
Mhm.
exists.
I agree.
Number one, I'll give it number two. Number one is Hot Fuzz. Everybody knows. If you
Is
know
it what?
Hot Fuzz, if you know me, you know that Hot Fuzz is my favorite movie of all time.
I have never seen Hot Fuzz.
You might
That's
might
another
like
one.
it. It's kind of comedy with the cops shooting and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but
I don't like comedy.
a little
It's
comedy angle to it.
every bit of it pays off. Everything is set up in the beginning and everything is payoff in the end. There is no
It is
part
a
of it that
little,
there is no fat on the movie.
and it is a little intriguey where
It's
you're kind
very-
of like, oh,
All
here's a
right.
new thing that
It's a murder mystery.
pops up, you know?
It's
And
good.
you're like, oh, who?
There was
who done it?
something that I wrote down. I was watching your podcast the other day with and Alex, give me that little piece of paper on that table.
I'm gonna write stuff down. Hang on.
I did because I was like, oh, I have to check this one out.
Later
Yes.
if you want.
It was your science fiction one that's science fiction PG.
Science fiction
About time.
about time. Yeah.
You were sitting there talking about that, and I was like, well, I'll have to
Yes.
check that one out.
Yes.
So I'll have to put Hot Fuzz on there.
Hot Fuzz
Hot
is a good one.
Fuzz.
On that list
Really
is
good.
also Edge of Tomorrow. If you haven't seen that, that's
Edge of Tomorrow's good.
oh,
Yes. Mind-blowingly good.
yeah.
If you like feel-good movies, because you mentioned Hugo to me, have you on Netflix watched Enola Holmes yet?
I did.
Wasn't that adorable?
That was adorable. That was delightful.
It was super cute. And then
That
they
was
kept-
very cute.
when she was talking to the camera, I was like, they are doing this perfectly.
Yeah.
That was so cute. So, okay,
It
I'm
was
glad you've
good.
seen it. There
Yeah.
aren't many. Every time I mention it, people are either like, "Oh, I've definitely seen it and I love it," or they're like, "What are you talking
that,
about? Why am I going to
saw
watch
that,
it?"
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so dumb. Are we inventing a new character?
Oh, it was so cute.
It was cute.
It was so cute.
It was cute.
That's like Star Trek Discovery right now. Oh, hey, all these beloved characters that are known and established. Oh, they secretly had a sibling that they never mentioned.
I was happy with
Okay,
it.
that's fine. I know
It could happen.
yeah, it could happen. But the Enola Holmes, I think, is better than
Yeah.
Star Trek because they actually like have the character like I don't know. They just did it very badly with trying to in Star Trek's case. So
Noah just has a lot of opinions
I
on
have a
it.
lot of opinions about new Star Trek. But I'm kind of weary of those. Like, we're gonna make a new character. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
All right.
Problem solved.
I like that they made Enola Holmes with Mycroft or and
Yep.
and Sherlock as
Yep.
opposed to just saying this is Sherlock, now it's a girl. You know,
Yeah.
I'll give them that credit. I'll say that was a better choice than saying Sherlock Holmes is a girl now.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Problem
go.
solved.
Yes. I know that you have also mentioned like, yeah, actiony movies. I had went in like I kind of wasn't gonna watch that. What was the one with the Rock? It was San Andreas, and then you were like,
Oh.
"No, it's kind of good."
It's
and I
a
watched
decent
it. I was
action.
like,
It's terrible plot acting, whatever.
for
It's
sure.
a decent action flick.
It's a decent action
He
flick.
had, what was it, Skyscraper too, where he's
Yeah.
like it's
I
dive.
don't think I saw that one.
I didn't see that one either, but I was like,
Gemini Man is one too. Pretty bad.
I
It was a decent action.
decent
I heard
action.
very hit or miss on Gemini Man.
It's bad plot, bad acting, decent action.
Nice. See,
That's exactly what I had heard too.
If you're just watching it for action, it's a decent action.
Turn your
then
brain
that's
off.
what you got.
Don't
Yeah.
expect a good story.
Well, sometimes it's not what you need, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
If
It's
that's
not
what
a-
you're looking for, then go watch The Princess Bride.
Right.
Which when I was in Ohio, it was super cool. They had like a Princess Bride showing
Oh.
at like the theater, and I got to watch it with a crowd of people, and like people were reacting, and I had never seen it with other like a whole theater full of people before, and it was mind-blowingly fun. And they had a mini horses that you could pet because there was like a pre-party that you could go to, and they called them
That's cool.
horses of unusual size. And then all the drinks were named after the characters and stuff, and then you played all these games, and then at the end of the showing like of the movie, Carrie Elwes, who played Wesley, was there, and he was promoting like his book and stuff, so I got to hear like a
That
Q&A
is
with
cool.
him.
Awesome.
It was so fun.
Oh, I love it.
That
was
is
so
cool.
fun.
That's great.
And it was one of
cool.
those moments where I was like, do I need to go? I think I need to go.
How often is How often
I
is
looked
this
at-
show again?
I looked at John and I was like, I know that you don't want to go, but I need to go. I just went. It was
that's
fantastic.
That's
That is
So-
cool. That is cool.
So
Hmm.
any other fun adult pop culture stories that you would
Oh
like to
no,
tell?
I think I am pretty out.
Oh man.
That's everything I have jotted down. That
So-
was on your
Okay.
list.
Watching TV shows.
Well, then movies more than TV shows,
I know,
right?
but you're not watching any TV shows?
No, they haven't. I have really not binge watched. The only thing I did watch after it won all the awards last year, and Madeline and Alex made me watch an episode of Schitt's Creek. So I
Ah,
binge watched that. I was done with that in like 7-8 days.
that seems to be the case. Whenever someone starts Schitt's Creek, they're like, "Well, I'm gonna zip through because they're fantastic."
They're very short. It was they were hysterical. The best episode was the premiere with the birds.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite episodes. And when the guy died in the hotel room, and so they're having the meeting in the lobby, trying to get rid of the
Yes.
body before then. That was,
Yes.
I literally was crying. I was laughing so hard. Those were the
Oh
best
my
two.
God. I agree with you.
Otherwise, it's a subtle humor, but it's good.
And it's also character driven. I just love the characters so much and what they do with them. It's just so fascinating to me.
But yeah, there's Madeline keeps telling, "Oh, you have to watch this series, this series." It's just nah.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are like an hour long and they've been on for 7 seasons or something.
Yeah, you're like,
It
too
depends.
much.
I have to be in the mood for like if I'm doing that big of an investment in the show. It's like I have to do some homework on it first. I'm not just
Yeah.
trusting one person's opinion either. Hey, what do you think?
No, but different, like Game of Thrones is not one person opinions. I've never seen that.
Me neither.
you can. It's only good up through season 5, I'll say, because season 6 is like season 6 is passable, but it's all set up for season 7 and 8, and season 7 and 8 are flaming piles of trash.
But I also feel like it's just a lot to invest in.
No, it's not, because it's a good story, Allison. I'm saying, Allie, if
Good.
you make it through if you get through the first season, you're saying I'm in it for the long haul at this point. That's what
I
it is.
think I've seen episodes in the first season and I haven't gotten invested yet.
And then Allison, maybe you don't like good stories.
You know what? I think I read the book and the book was so long and so dry that I was like, maybe I don't like this. So maybe
I didn't
that's
even
what
know
is.
it was based on a book.
I'm just saying that a majority of the family will disown the two of you if you say this.
Well,
out
Aunt
loud.
Carolyn, me and you at Christmas instead of the family.
Yeah, because John's watched it all.
See?
I think it should be mandatory viewing for any new members of the Young family. That's what
Yeah. Well, I'm not a new member, so there.
Yeah, a whole loophole.
Allison's not a new member either, so there. We're off the hook.
There you go.
Loophole.
I like the way you think.
I have one more question for you because we often you, the Schluters, and our parents, the Youngs, will go on vacations together.
Oh my God, yeah.
What is like a fun story that you would like to share with your adventures in different vacations? Because you guys have gone across most of the country.
We went ocean to ocean
Yep.
in a year.
Yep.
Oh my God, there's so
There's
so
many.
one of the there are so many. Just off the top of my head, one that popped into my mind, and we were in possibly I can't remember, maybe Nebraska. Jerry booked a bunch of different hotels because we went out and saw you on the East Coast and went out and saw you on the West Coast. I don't remember even which way we were going. I think it was the first trip towards you, but I cannot remember 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were 6 of us, so you had to get 2 rooms. Jerry found a hotel that it was a big slumber party. It was 1 room with 3 queen beds. So it was a big slumber party. We were all in 1 room together. And that was hysterical. I did not know this existed.
I didn't think those things. Yeah, what?
So Tom and Tina had 1 bed. Jerry and Kurt had the other bed, and me and Nana had the last bed. It was a big slumber party.
That was hysterical. So weird that exists.
I don't even know how Jerry found it. That was so funny. And then one of the oh God, there were so many.
I can't make the jokes I want to make.
That's awkward.
Family show.
Those are fun trips. And you would think the car ride was half the adventure.
Yeah.
The conversations. And it was, and I get we had to switch it with your dad with the van, but all 6 of us in the car at once was hysterical. So there'd be parts of we'd always have one heavy day driving.
Right.
Macy, Macy, don't jump. Don't jump. You can't jump. Hold on, I gotta get the dog.
Go get her.
Hang on, don't jump. Don, you can take the dog out.
I'm just so happy she's doing okay.
Look at Daddy. John, don't let her jump.
Oh, don't jump.
Oh,
right.
Is she okay?
She's not allowed to jump.
Yeah,
No.
I figured.
She's not allowed to jump.
Oh.
So yeah. So she had a stone in her bladder that she had to remove. So she literally just had surgery yesterday. So she was just getting ready to jump. I just stopped her. So she went to follow you. Can you take her outside? Okay. I got to finish. You're going to have to edit. Sorry.
That's okay. That is Noah's job.
We're already. Editing is already involved no matter what. So it's like, what is another 2 edits? Who cares?
Yes.
So I forgot where we were even before she was trying to jump. She's right in my sight line. That's why I sat her so I could keep an eye on her.
Joking with Allison. I love how quick he was. Oh, and then it's like, no. Like, no hesitation. That's right.
No.
Straight to her.
Yeah.
I love it. What were we talking about? We were talking.
I don't remember.
Oh, the car rides, and there was always a
Oh.
heavy day.
Very conversations in the car.
Oh, yeah. And I do miss when we do have to split it up, and it's just a little bit different. But the first year we went, so we were trying to make it all the way to New York. It was like a 12-hour drive. It was a long drive. It was a long stretch. We now do not do any more than 9 hours at a time. But we wanted to spend a full day. You know, we got there, we spent a whole day driving, and then that way you could sleep. Then we had a full day to spend in New York. Jerry had, there were some family friends that were up there.
Nice.
But that drive, that was brutal, but hysterical and funny
I can imagine.
simultaneously.
What were you guys talking about?
You were some people would sleep, some people read. Tom, I remember, had the CD from Guardian of the Galaxy, the first one.
Awesome mix.
So the first song is Ooga 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 Shaka. So every
Yep.
time I hear that song, it's the car ride, and we are all four singing that out
Of
loud.
course. You have to. What else can you do when that song comes on?
Oh my God, it was so funny. Yeah, Tom had music. Tom was always, brought a collection of music. He was the DJ from the middle seat, if he wasn't driving.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you hold me,
Oh.
I'm so.
And then Jerry drive. I'm sitting there. I don't even remember what state that was in. I think that was going west. Jerry always had the worst weather driving. I swear to God. I'm watching on the phone. There are tumbleweeds blowing. It was monsoon.
Oh.
I'm looking for a ditch to drive in to see if we see if a tornado blows by or whatever. And when we finally get past whatever blows through, and we stop at and she's white knuckling it, keeping the car on the road. There was, I swear to God, a tumbleweed under the car. We had to pull out, or a chunk of a tree or something. That was never. Jerry always has bad weather the when she drives. Yeah.
I'll get on that for you. I'll do a little weather magic. And
I think, didn't you have to teach my mom how to use cruise control at some point? I remember that being a story.
They very well could have been. Yeah, your mom likes to drive the sunny days, the nice straight
I think what you
stretches.
mean, my mom doesn't like to drive.
I don't either.
Because there was crossing the mountains to get to California. I didn't realize what I was going to get Kurt took over after that too, because I was like, oh, this is getting a little dicey. Up and down and around and whatever. I was like, I don't know how people do that and it was a nice day, so there was no rain or anything like that. But if there was any snow it was nerve-wracking to me. So Kurt took over my leg.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. But most times it was just fun. It was just fun.
That seems to be the consensus from everyone I ask. So
now I remember I was going to say my favorite vacation travel story with you guys, you specifically and your family, was the incident involving the cooler thief.
Oh, Vanla was talking about that the other day.
That's a good story.
Yeah. Those were some good little trips. Those were at your parents' little lakey
sports club.
Club, that was it. Yeah.
We would go camping there.
Club or sports club?
Something like that. Yeah.
Friends club, I think.
Yes. It was like a fishing, hunting, camping place, and
yes.
And they actually even broke into my car that my purse was in, but they didn't take anything. Just the stuff was on the front seat, and there was a cell phone and a wallet. And I was like, okay, that's how we knew they were kids. And then they stole the cooler to get the beer.
They were looking for beer.
They took the cooler with the yogurt and the fruit
instead of the beer cooler.
And then threw it all over the beach.
There was a lifeguard chair that got vandalized.
It got yogurted.
Yeah. So then we booby tramped the whole campsite the next night.
We did indeed.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we set up tripwires and stuff. It was great.
I feel like you guys were humoring us because we definitely felt like it was like a James Bond movie. We were like, we are protecting this.
We're gonna get these guys. We're gonna get them. They're coming back. We know
in my head, at least, I was like, the only way someone could get this if they do like Mission Impossible, like from the tree, where he just like lowers himself.
There you go.
climbing over the branches,
And
descending.
then the other one trip up there with that too. Do you remember? I don't remember who was in my camper. I want to say you both were in my camper,
I think it was us.
and it was the storm. That's when
soon, man.
and I
Yeah.
mustn't have been level, or the door wasn't attached right, and we had water coming in. I was like, "Everyone, give me your socks!"
Yep. We were shoving them in.
And we're shoving him in
Yeah.
around the door.
I do remember that. I needed everyone.
I needed everyone's socks.
It's happening.
Because all the towels from swimming that day were hanging out on the line getting wet, so that wasn't going to do us any good.
Yep. And we weren't about to use the blankets because it was chilly.
No, we needed those.
Recall picking a different campsite at like the last minute, and us looking back at the one that we were going to pick and be like, it was in like a valley between two hills, and we're like, oh, that would have been terrible.
Yeah. And we were like looking down from there. We were like, ooh, thank goodness.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
top of the hill.
Yeah, so that was the beginning, early days of the road trips.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Lots of camping, and then it evolved from there for sure.
Yeah.
We had Noel involved in the camping trips. That was a ton of fun.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
man.
any other fun stories about the family that you'd like to share as we wind
Oh.
down?
Not that I can't think of anything off the top of my head, no.
That's okay.
Tough when you're put on the spot, I will admit, but
Yeah. You shared some great ones tonight. So we appreciate you partaking in our pop culture timeline.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I enjoy watching them.
Yeah, good.
one of our most loyal viewers right here. So just let that be a lesson. If the more you watch, the more likely you are to get on the show.
Heck yes.
So it's funny. I don't know how to subscribe to things or whatever. Too. I was like, Alex, help me subscribe to this. He goes, just click it.
Yes.
So yes, yes.
Great.
As always, like and subscribe because you know that it's the buttons to press. Don't be an Aunt Carolyn. Remember to.
I know now. I know now. I think I was the third one to subscribe.
Yeah, baby. I think I was the first one because I was the test. Like, is it working? Okay.
You know what? Can I be honest? I think I haven't subscribed yet.
Oh.
So
I only run it, so.
we can see who isn't, and
That's funny.
we know you. So
I will subscribe by the next time that we talk.
so. Right. Well, we will bring this to a close.
Yes.
Thank you again, Aunt Carolyn. This was
Thanks for having me.
It was so fun, and we love you.
remember
And
Love
we
you.
will
all the other
talk to
people who
you
haven't
later.
Miss you. See you soon, hopefully, too, in person.
Yes, fingers crossed.
All right.
Well, we'll see.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. I got to go find the dog.
Yes.
All right.
Ah.
All righty.